American campus communities. Do they own schools? The hell? Or do they own high quality? Well, close. They make high quality student housing communities in the United States. Company's fully integrated, self-managed, self-administered equity real estate investment trust with expertise in the design, finance, development, and construction management and operational management of student housing properties. As of September 30th, 2020, American Campus Communities owned 166 impressive student housing properties, although it's kind of like to focus in on student housing is a very unusual specialization. I mean, I think it's interesting. I mean, there's definitely certain things, certain amenities, certain things students would look for that, for example, your average residential uh, person wouldn't necessarily be interested in, vice versa. So it's an interesting specialization that I personally never would have thought about as being its own thing. But now that I'm reading it, like it makes sense. It makes sense to me. Um, so let's take a look at these numbers here. Earnings. These don't look bad. These don't. Well, okay, no, okay. I was looking at annual, and I'm like, these don't look terrible. And I switched over to quarterly, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, what is with these negative numbers? Um, but then again, that's quarter two and quarter three of 2020. Let's see, what is something big that happened in 2020 that could possibly affect the numbers for a company that deals in college students like this? What could it possibly be? Nope, I can't think of nothing. No! Coronavirus, obviously. Word of the day. Uh that is probably my reasoning for these numbers. Prior to that, looks like they were doing fairly solid. Um so I am willing to write off these numbers as an unfortunate, COVID thing, and I would expect them to get back to normal. Uh, I would expect them to get back to normal once everyone's vaccinated, COVID goes away, and schools open up again fully. So yeah, they missed quarter three, missed quarter two. They knocked quarter one out of the park. They knocked quarter one out of the park. Quarter four, 2019 was a slight miss. I'm not terribly concerned about that. And this chart here probably reflects that too. You're probably gonna okay, predictions in this chart. You're gonna see a March dip, and then you're gonna see a slow recovery, probably a more drastic recovery than you would see in other stocks, because again, this sounds like a recovery play, similar to cruise lines and airlines. I mean, the news isn't going to focus on a recovery play like this, obviously, but this is a pure recovery play in my opinion. So let's go look at this chart. Okay, so again, March drop. However, recovery has not been as solid as I would have expected. Like, they're not even back anywhere close to pre-pandemic levels, and maybe it's because people think that the days with earnings like this are behind them. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Something else I noticed here is that they do pay a dividend. That's always nice. That's a fairly hefty dividend too. That's not a dividend to shake your head at. Earnings are in 3 days. Earnings are in 3 days. So that should be interesting to see what that would be quarter one of 2021, I think. So that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting to see what that's like during the review session. Read this before judging American campus communities. Yes, sir. Oh wait, this is simply Wall Street. No, screw these guys. Forget it. I'll still read what they have to say. Many investors are still learning what the various metrics can be used. Blah blah blah. Formula return on that. Blah. Does American have a growth? One simple way to determine if a company has a growth. Blah. Dude, you're not telling me anything. Oh god, these guys are awful. Announces board refresh, govern enhancement, ex dividend date, campus communities a buy. Okay. Oh boy. I want to say that these are a buy. I want to say this is a buy because they seem to have been doing well pre-pandemic. I see no reason why they should not do well post-pandemic, and I see you bringing up the point of online classes. I'm not all that concerned about that. I'm not all that concerned about that because when they say student housing, I assume that they're talking about housing for people actually living at a school, not like housing for students in general wherever they may be. Like people are still going to need student housing. There's still going to be people that want to go to college. You know, they're going to want to have the college experience. They're going to want to interact with people their own age. So I don't think that the fact that online classes maybe becoming more popular is really that much of a reason to say that this won't do well post pandemic. I I I don't see it. Especially with, you can say the same thing about like streaming. Like, everyone can get their movies on HBO Max or Disney Plus or whatever nowadays. No one's gonna want to go to the movie theater when things are open back up. That is completely wrong in my opinion. After a year plus of being locked up in people's houses, they're gonna want to go out. They're gonna want to interact. They're gonna want to. They're not gonna want to be jammed inside watching movies. They're going to want to go out to the movie theaters, just like how students, in my opinion, are not going to want to stay inside taking online classes like they have for the last year. They're going to want to go out. They're going to want to take in-person classes. They're going to be able to want to chat in actual real meet space with their professors or their fellow classmates. That's my opinion. That's my take on it. So for those reasons and all the above, I think ACC is a buy. It may take a while to recognize those gains, because who knows when COVID's finally going to be over for good. But I still think ACC, these guys are a buy. So there you have it.